Hello everyone, Harry here, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm not doing anything on the song today. Feeling a bit under the weather, just can't face doing another 6-hour session of trying to write a song. I thought I'd do something slightly useful though, so I haven't completely wasted the day. Since I've put the Writing a Song from Scratch series up, I've had a couple of questions from people asking why I use Reaper, is it any good, why did I move away from Logic, etc. So I thought I'd do a really quick video just kind of going through pluses and negatives, why I like it, why I chose it. I recently moved from Mac to PC. It was a bit forced, my Mac just completely died essentially. I've always used Logic. I've used it for 11 years since I first started recording my own music, and I was panicking a little bit when I came over because I didn't know what I was going to replace it with. I didn't want to start putting petitions up and things like that because I just thought it was completely unnecessary. There's so many good DAWs out there, there's got to be one that would fill Logic's boots for me. I downloaded all the demos, I did all the free trials, I used them all. I kind of went through the same recording process in each of them to see which one I liked and which one I didn't. Honourable mentions, Cubase was amazing, really enjoyed the workflow in there. Pro Tools was good, but I knew I wasn't going to get Pro Tools from DAW because it's just too expensive for me. Same with Cubase really. When I looked at the features that I wanted from Cubase, I was looking at about £1,000 for it, and it's just too much money. I'm just a hobbyist, this doesn't pay the bills, I've got another job, this is just something I do for fun. If you're looking at paying £1,000 for a DAW, then personally I think you're a little bit mental if it's not something you do for work. So a friend of mine suggested Reaper to me, said they've just recently moved over, and they've had a really good experience with it. So I downloaded the demo. The first thing I'd say, when I first opened it, I'm very used to Logic, everything on Logic is unmistakably Apple. The user interfaces are amazing, it's polished, it looks, it feels, and it operates exactly how you would expect it to. For the first half an hour or something in Reaper I was completely lost. I had no idea what anything did. I'm not very good at reading instructions. I just kind of like playing with stuff until I work out how to use it. What I basically found with it, and the big upsides, workflow is very quick, it's very easy, everything you need is on this screen. The mix is nice and easy to use. Everything's obvious of what it does. It's got big colours and labels on it. I know that sounds really juvenile, but my attention span's quite small, so when I'm writing songs, the songwriting is what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on using the DAW. I just want to be able to get in, press a go button and crack on with it. I really like the customization. There's a couple of skins that you can use and there's more that you can download. I haven't really investigated that yet. This is the skin that I ended up going for, and I really like how it looks, and it just makes it quite easy on the eye. Another big plus side is there's an awful lot of support for it. It's all quite forum based and community based, but I think I prefer that because you can actually ask people who are in a similar boat to you what they did to solve a problem. A couple of downsides. One big downside, when I came over from Logic, I assumed that every DAW you use will come with a huge suite of pre-built plugins that all work amazingly and look beautiful. I didn't know that wasn't necessarily the case. When I first started using it, I realised that there wasn't really that many plugins, and the plugins that there was, I'll give you an example. Let's find a Cuckos, or however you say it. So this is the user interface of the built-in Reaper delay. I'm not an audio engineer, I don't have any official training or qualifications in this. I've just learnt from experience, reading articles, watching YouTube videos and stuff. And although all of these words make sense to me, for the first couple of weeks I was using Reaper, it just absolutely baffled me. A bit of a markdown is for the user interfaces, but I don't think they've really invested any time into it, which is fair because why would you? There's a lot of people don't use built-in plugins. They have preferences of their own plugins. Really good side of this though, Reaper just doesn't use any CPU. You can run some really heavy plugins on it, you can have full session, and you'll never get any lag, skips, jumps, anything like that. And I think a lot of that is down to just how the user interface works and how basic and simple it is. So the way I went about fixing this for myself, it's not a problem, but just for me, I wanted things to have some colours and to look like something that I would recognise with some dials that say what they do on it. So I just went out into the big scary World Wide Web, did some basic Googles about some free plugins, and I just downloaded a load of them basically, and I've just been going through and finding the ones that I like, finding the ones that I don't like, and I'm kind of at a point now where I don't miss anything on Logic, so that's quite good. So the biggest advantage about Reaper for me was the cost. I mean, as a DAW, it does everything a hobbyist like me could possibly want it to do. It will run any type of plugin, it'll support any type of audio file. The setup and stuff for the interfaces and things is really easy. Everything's where it should be, and it costs £55 all in forever. I can't see how anyone's using anything else at this point unless it was free. I know there's some options, Studio One and things, which you can get for kind of, I think it was £130, £140, but it's quite a basic package, whereas with Reaper, when you get a little bit more into it, you can make it do things that the expensive Studio One would do for a fifth of the price, and I just think it's an absolute no-brainer from that side of things. No matter which DAW you use will be the one that you like using. If you're just starting up, if you're worried about cost, if you're thinking that some of the programs that you've had a look at are really confusing, if I were you, I'd just give Reaper a try. I know more about Reaper at this point after using it for 3 months than I ever did about Logic, and I used that for 11 years. I think it's just ease of use, simplicity. There's not that many tools on it, but it's got every tool that you would need to use. I found the best way for me to work in Reaper was I spent a couple of days building myself a template. Set myself up a template like the one you see in here. This is the song I've been working on the Writing a Song from Scratch series. I can work on it. When I get to the point of wanting to record the actual tracks, I can just delete the stuff I don't need, add some bits in that I do need, duplicate some tracks and that kind of stuff, and that's the way I work through it. Something that a lot of people would be bothered about, but really didn't bother me at all because I basically never use it. There's not a huge amount of instruments. There wasn't a lot included. I'm pretty sure it was only those 3 that came with Reaper. I've added, obviously, Contact Use, that's for drums, and some pads and stuff. Yeah, so if you're looking at doing loop samples, production of kind of electronic bass music, maybe Reaper isn't for you. I don't really have an experience of making that kind of music, so I can't give you a good opinion. All I know is for recording live instruments, doing demos, doing home recording, it's fantastic, and I really don't think you need any more. I think it's always good to listen to somebody who's actually been using it rather than just listening to somebody who's promoting it, maybe being paid to do so. I hope this helped a few of you. If you want to ask any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to answer them. I'm not an expert, I've only been using it for a couple of months, but I've got a pretty good handle on what it does now. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back shortly with some more Writing a Song from Scratch series, and I hope you're all well. Stay safe. Thank you very much.